What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back to another F1 video on this lovely Friday. We are officially at the Japanese Grand Prix. I think we have FP1 today. So I think it was Lando, Russell, and Leclerc round up the top three. It should be a good race. Obviously, the big news, obviously, Yuki Tsunoda, making his Red Bull, his debut. So it should be a good one. Should be a great one. And listen, only thing I'm going to say about Yuki Tsunoda, just do me proud, bro. Do me proud. It's a big step going from Racing Bulls to Red Bull. Just do me proud, bro. I'm hoping. And plus, I'm just hoping the best for Yuki, man. Hopefully he shows out. He does well. Does what he's supposed to do, man. We'll see what happens. We'll go from there. But I did want to see today, and it's probably like the first time we have really actually talked about this, is how the British bias is killing Formula One. Shout out to Elite F1 Talks. All credit goes to them, big time. I want to see if this is actually true or not. Because when I watch the races, when I watch just read the news and stuff like that, I don't really notice it or see it. But if this is true, let's check it out. But without further ado, boys and girls, let's go ahead and let's start the video. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well as always. Hopefully, 6K subs is on the way. Hopefully we can crack that, and let's get started.
Formula One and many other sports are highly British dominant, which does not have to be a problem. The actual problem is them being a global broadcaster, spreading their bias towards their own country's drivers and openly hating on others. This fuels another problem: social media. It already has a lot of negativity, hate, and fake news. We don't need this to be fueled by a global broadcaster that needs to advocate for the sport, not discredit it. It's totally understandable that you support your national driver or team. In the Netherlands, they do it with Max Verstappen. In Spain, they only care about Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. And in Italy, it's Forza Ferrari. But still, I do think that these countries keep a more open approach to other drivers and their performance.
That makes sense because obviously, you know me, I'm American, of course, and obviously when I supported, Logan Sargent. Obviously he wasn't good at all, and he kind of had to And the Haas team is American based, but you know what I mean? So I want Haas to do well. I want Logan Sargent to do well, but Haas has been somewhat decent. They've been all right to start the year off. It's still very early, only 3 races in, but my favorite driver, you guys know, is Charles Leclerc, which means I guess I'm a Ferrari fanboy, but also Lewis Hamilton, just what he represents, just his overall racing pedigree. So I guess you could say I'm a Ferrari boy, but the bias, it's not just in the F1. You see in other sports as well. So, but I didn't know it was that bad in terms of the British bias. And when you show all the Verstappen articles, I was getting called out, man. Listen, Verstappen, hot-headed stuff like that, but hey,
performances, they support their national hero, but to a certain level. With Sky Sports being the main broadcaster for Formula One, their bias toward their countrymen is more apparent. This makes it more annoying for a lot of people. I have favorites myself. I like certain drivers or teams more. There are ones that I support, but why should I throw hate on other drivers or teams? There's no point in doing that. It's fueling all of these hate sentiments, and we already have enough of that in the world these days. I cheer for my favorites, but when another driver does something sublime, I cheer too. I love Formula One as a sport, and I want to see everybody excel. That is in favor of the sport. 80% of the journalists are English, and so are the pundits. All of this adds to the British bias, and it's not even for the better. A sport as big as F1 right now doesn't need this. It's even damaging. The bias translates to hate towards the English drivers because they get favoritism. And as I said before, and stated in a previous video, we already have that on social media. So, why is this a problem? Why do we have this? And why is it suddenly a problem? It's definitely not all of a sudden. It's already been a problem for years. When Schumacher was dominant, they always tried to discredit him and his performances. Fernando Alonso always felt like the bad guy and spoke out about it. And then it was Sebastian Vettel who endured a lot of hate during his dominant days. He was a 4-time world champion, but it was more due to the car than his actual driving. And now it's Max Verstappen's turn. With the 2021 championship battle, Red Bull Racing cost cap breach, and his dominance, he gets a lot of hate from the so-called pundits. I can bring up many elements, but I want to focus on certain events just to make it clear. We do need to go back to 2021 for that. We all know about the battle of the young driver who can win his first championship and the reigning world champion who can win his 8th, a battle for the history books. As a commentator or pundit, this could be your opportunity to fuel the popularity of the sport, add an extra layer to it and make it even more enjoyable. But what really happened? Sky Sports did this.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
An actual advertisement about a crash of the rival of Lewis Hamilton, their favourite. It was a crash that could be fatal. Recently, we learned that Verstappen had damage. He had problems with his vision and couldn't see clearly. It was even so bad that he considered stopping during the Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in 2021. Before we go on with the video and my further explanation of the British bias, I want to ask for your help. I've recently hit 500 subscribers and I want to thank every one of you for that. Now, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's keep going. Then we have the cost cap breach. The whole Red Bull team gets hate for it. It's stupid, of course, but it wasn't a breach on actual development, so there was no advantage from it. Still, in 2022, Red Bull got called out multiple times for it. They started the season strong and became better and better. Verstappen broke the record for most wins in a season. It showcased his and Red Bull's racing quality, but everything was being downplayed. Sky Sports pit lane reporter Ted Kravitz multiple times talked about the 2021 final and used the word robbed many times to defend Hamilton. The whole Red Bull team boycotted Sky Sports.
Now I'm trying to think. Now, I don't think I was a hater. I think I did say some things talking about just going back to 2021 ending, as we all know, between Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. The only thing I said was I just didn't like the way that it ended. But that's all I said. That's all I said. Obviously it's a really heated subject. When you talk to Red Bull fans and Mercedes fans, or Lewis fans and Verstappen fans, a very heated subject. We have had our arguments. But if you can't discredit what Red Bull was doing that year, though. And if you're just going to hate on Red Bull for that, I mean, it's a reason they boycott, like you said, it's a reason that they boycott Sky Sports. Why would I keep on showing for interviews, press conferences, whatever, with the same company that constantly hates on me in the media? That makes no sense. So why would I do that? You know what I mean? That makes no sense. So I don't blame Red Bull for that. Say, I'll do it too. I mean, you ain't finna just...
Max Verstappen opened up and said the whole year they were digging at him and being disrespectful. At some point, it's enough. I don't accept it. He added my own thoughts to it. Social media is a toxic place, and if you're like that on TV, you make it worse instead of trying to make it better. I've described Austria 2024 already in my Why is Social Media Killing Formula 1 video, but I just want to briefly touch on it again. When the accident happened, most people agreed it was a racing incident. It was completely blown out of proportion. The reaction of Lando Norris after the Grand Prix gained him favoritism, which he later took back. But the real problem is once again the coverage on TV. They openly blamed Verstappen. It was the return of the old Verstappen. He doesn't learn and he always crashes into someone. He isn't punished enough. They did multiple analyses on it, all in favour of Norris, a British driver. If you're on Twitter and not from the UK, you know that you can't see the Sky Sports videos on the platform. Everything's geo-blocked. Guess what? Not this time. Everything was viewable to create a certain sentiment.
Hey, he better than me. He better than me. I would just won a race, came after the interview, and just being like, Sky Sports, you can do one. F off. Piss off. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you ain't finna just do that to me. No. Go find somebody else to bully. You ain't finna do that to me.
The Grand Prix weekend of Hungary wasn't Max Verstappen's best day in his racing career. They're being outdeveloped and the new upgrades didn't work as expected. Verstappen joined a 24-hour sim race because a teammate couldn't make it, and he went to bed at 3 a.m. In the race, he was openly frustrated, multiple times shouting on the radio, discussing with his engineer, and blaming the team for bad strategy. Of course, this isn't nice, but at least he shows he wants to win and nothing else. The commentators also reacted on this. Multiple times they stated Verstappen should have gone to bed instead of sim racing. It was the sim racing that caused this behaviour. Norris was more of a professional because he went to bed at 11 p.m. The commentary team felt uncomfortable and was disappointed in Verstappen. Why would you even say this? I mean, I understand that it might not be the best decision or behaviour of Verstappen, but it was never a problem when he did this before. In Imola, he won 2 races, the real one and the 24-hour sim race. Nobody said anything about that. In Spa-Francorchamps, the Red Bull racing car of Verstappen didn't have the updates, something that was already known before the weekend started. It was an update for low downforce tracks. Spa is a high downforce track. Sky Sports suggested that Red Bull abandon the updates. This resulted in a community note on Twitter stating that the new package was for low downforce and the old one for high downforce. This resulted in Sky Sports deleting the tweet. Such a global broadcaster spreading misinformation, driving their own agenda, and then being corrected by fans is such a shame. It shows everything that's wrong and why the bias is just stupid, if you ask me. There are many more examples, and I'm pretty sure that everyone who watches this video can name a few of them. While writing this video, I came to the conclusion that it's not the British bias that's the problem. The problem is the behaviour of a global broadcaster like Sky Sports. Formula One needs to solve this. They can go for a more neutral broadcasting format, make it independent or in-house. The Formula One YouTube channel already has its own media team that covers a lot. Why not extend that part? You get a more neutral standpoint. Everything and everyone gets cheered on, and it might also calm people on social media down. I do think that it's what's better for the future of Formula One. With such popularity, you can't afford behaviour like this. Anyway, once again, thank you for 500 subscribers.
I'll step in and do it. Shit, you know, what you need me to do? I can commentate the races, share my thoughts on races. But listen, for how big Sky Sports is, and for them to just bully on Verstappen, I didn't know it was that like crazy until obviously this video. This video did hell of a job. Shout out Lee. That they need to be better. They gotta be better. Now, obviously, they were probably pretty happy that they lost the constructors last season. But what if Verstappen wins again somehow this season? What are they gonna say? Damn near what, 5 straight? Oh, Lando should have won it. This is Lando's year. Hey, man. Ooh. You guys let me know in the comments down below you guys' overall thoughts about the British bias. Is it killing F1, or are we just overreacting, or should we actually take more notice of it? Let me know in the comments down below. See you guys soon. Peace.